This is William Patterson University Television.
What are you waiting for? Read. Do it!
Welcome back. If you're here to see our trip from Comic-Con, just click the next button. DC Comics' Chief Creative Officer, Geoff Johns, showed a glimpse of next month's issue of Doomsday Clock, the Watchmen sequel. Not only did Johns share the first 6 pages and explain the artwork in each panel, but he announced that fan favorite Rorschach was not killed at the end of Alan Moore's Watchmen. So here we are talking about it. With me here tonight, I have my friend George, who's also a writer for the show and actually attended the Doomsday Clock panel this weekend at Comic-Con. He's also a terrific soprano. We have Warrior Brothers sympathizer Will and our hot dog critic, Jacky. Guys, welcome to the show. Very interesting credentials, I have to say. Yeah, it's like they were made up or something.
Warrior Brothers.
They did nothing wrong.
You don't have any sympathy for the Warrior Brothers?
No, I do have sympathy. That's the point.
You do? Okay, well then that was correct then. You like hot dogs?
I actually do.
Yeah,
I like
who doesn't?
them.
You ever had a Chicago dog? They're great.
A lot of chili is good. Yeah.
Okay, I'd love to keep talking about this, but we got a show to do. We got to talk about Watchmen. I love that movie.
It was great.
It was such a great movie.
I enjoyed the graphic novel more, though. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was still a pretty good adaptation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that too. So we all saw Dr. Manhattan disintegrate Rorschach in the final scenes of Watchmen.
Right.
So how could he have possibly survived? How can you ever spin that? George, what do you think?
Me personally, I mean, I don't want to go the easy way out and say that Dr. Manhattan just sent him to another universe. I feel like he actually did kill him, because if you go back to the graphic novel, you see blood on the floor where he was disintegrated. So I'm curious to see how he is still alive. I'm not sure. Maybe Dr. Manhattan did send him to like another like false universe or whatever, just kept him in limbo there and then decided to bring him back for some reason. I'm not sure.
What do you think, Will?
Okay. Well, like George said, he could have possibly just been disintegrated and then been brought back by Dr. Manhattan, because we know Dr. Manhattan can do that because he's literally God. But
I guess it's pretty easy to spin if you're God.
Yeah, it is an easy way out. But I'm thinking maybe somebody else found his costume and picked up the idea of Rorschach as a title. Maybe something like that happened.
Interesting. Jacky, your thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of interested myself because I wanted him dead. I really did want him dead.
He is really ugly underneath that mask.
But I'm kind of.
He's the best.
I took a picture with him at Comic-Con.
He's so cool, yeah. But I mean, I'm excited.
I'm interested, and I want to see how he spins this, you know, to make him come back to life somehow, or, you know, maybe it's like what they're saying, a conspiracy or something. So, you know, we might see. I'm excited.
So, thoughts on the sequel? Like, what do you expect out of it, and what are you wanting out of it, George? I know you want something.
Yeah, I mean, it's being handled by Geoff Johns, who gave us Flashpoint, Darkest Night, and he's doing the whole Rebirth thing. So I trust Geoff Johns. I know he's not gonna let us down. I honestly don't have that many concerns. I just hope that they don't, you know, poop on the original Watchmen and just give us like, you know, this low-class sequel. But you know,
pooping.
Like I said, Geoff Johns is the god.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think?
Personally, I expect about the same out of this as I expected out of before Watchmen, which was published, I want to say 2012, and was universally horrible. Like I think anyone but Alan Moore trying to touch Watchmen is a touchy subject, because, you know, Alan Moore does a lot of revisionist work. Like, he got famous for doing The Killing Joke and things like that. Right. But on the other hand, you know, Watchmen is such an influential comic. Maybe instead of just kind of trying to recapture the lightning in a bottle that ended up being Watchmen, maybe we should try to create a new like a new kind of great work in the pantheon of comic book history.
All right, yeah. What do you think, Jacky?
Well, I remember I was reading the first 6 pages of the new comic that's coming out, and I'm into it. Right. I love it. I'm excited. Like,
that's so weird. He chose 6, just 6.
Just 6 pages.
Is that as much as he has done so far?
No, it was just a little teaser.
It was a little preview, but
the panel,
it was so good. Like, it just introduced, like, basically, like, it's like I don't know how to explain it, but I'm excited because it brought like current events somehow into it, mixed it in there,
Right.
and it was
Already.
like,
Okay.
it's a really good preview, and I'm super excited to watch. I mean, to read it, watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think this means for the DCU overall, George?
Well,
what do
like
you
I
think?
heard an interesting theory online because this first 6 pages starts off on November 22nd.
Because no one's ever lied online.
It starts off November 22nd, which November 22nd, 1992, I want to say, which is 8 years after the end of Watchmen. So what has happened between that 8-year gap that led everyone to all these riots and stuff? Because in the beginning of the first 6 pages, you see everyone storming Ozymandias, who was the villain in Watchmen. Everyone storming his building because obviously they found out that what he did to the Earth, he killed millions of people. It wasn't Dr. Manhattan. So I don't know. I'm excited to read it, man.
Yeah, Jacky, what do you think this means for the DCU overall?
Well, I'm kind of, I don't know, like this is for me new because I haven't seen this before in DC. Oh, I'm like a beginner in DC. But Watchmen is my intro, and then I'm just letting it lead me to wherever I'm like, Watchmen's a dog, and I'm just following it and seeing if it poops or doesn't. I hope it doesn't die and just takes me where it needs to go. So I'll see where it goes, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure we're all looking forward to it. And you said November 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because that's when it comes out. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
It's crazy, exactly.
I just put that together.
Exactly.
That's crazy. So yeah, he's the chief creative
officer
for a
and the
reason.
god.
And the god, obviously. So here we go. That's all the time we have. Be sure to check out Doomsday Clock #1 on November 22nd. Next up, we take a look at our trip to Comic-Con. We'll be right back.